So I want to spend a few minutes to talk about phishing and kind of why we're looking at email as a vector in Python and why we're looking at how to send email. So in many of the cybersecurity courses, you're going to learn how to pop root on boxes, get into networks, cross over, hypervisor boundaries. That's a lot of technical work. Most of the time, however, you don't need to do anything special other than convincing other people that you are trustworthy. This goes to social engineering. So we talked a lot about in this class when we looked at various methodologies in Python, various features of Python, and we looked at cybersecurity concepts to go with it. We did a lot with footprinting. We did a lot with operational open source intelligence gathering, finding out who are the employees, what are their personality traits, what information is out there about them. Because ultimately, it's a lot easier to break into a company when you're breaking, or an organization when you're breaking in through an individual, either through trickery or through extortion. When you're exploiting the information that you gather about them and using that as the entry point into an organization you're targeting. It's very effective during tests. When you're trying to work with an organization to find out where the vulnerabilities are, most of your vulnerabilities are going to be in humans. I want to pull up, I do a lot of cybersecurity presentations, and let's see if I can. So this is one that I do regularly. Let me make this screen a little bigger. So pardon for the it's not perfect, but I actually wasn't gonna even talk about this, and then I remembered I had it. So when we talk about footprinting and information's kind of the new weapon. We gather information from various sources because, honestly, for the last, almost 20 years, we've put information online and in all these services thinking that the internet's a trustworthy place. And we know over the last few years that it's not. We know that people will use the information against you. And oftentimes this is done through phishing, and the close cousins to phishing, vishing, and smishing, spear phishing, and whale phishing. Now, what are these? Phishing, spear phishing, whale phishing, these are all types of email scams. Email scams that are tied to kind of fake messages that you send. So I did a test with a company. I won't name the company, but this person in the company was really interested in speaking at events and in the airport industry. And the big airport organization, kind of lobbying group, is ACI, or Airports Council International. So to get access to the CEO, we knew that he loved to speak. We knew that he specifically wanted to go to one conference and speak, and he was having trouble getting access to it. So we used that as a way in. Sent it to this person. Faked that we were the organization, and said, "Hey, would you like to speak at a conference?" Almost immediately got a response. You find something of interest to a person, whether it be a desire, a dream, a want, a need, or a fear, and you draw on that. You use the technical aspect of email, and we learned a couple lines of Python code to send an email this week, but it's more than that. It's playing on human emotion, human responses to elicit a response, gain trust, and then gain access. So we get a response from this person. We wait until the next morning to send, "Great, wonderful, thank you. Click on this link. Find out more about the agenda. Draw them in. and then created a fake web page, fake website actually too. The original website was airportcouncil.org, so we got a similar domain, airportcouncils.org, and made this into a login script. Looks exactly the same as the real website, and kind of waited until the person entered their information. And all of this was through a simple email. So when we talk about, we'll flip back, doing this, right? Sending an email, doing HTML content in an email. That's all that was. This whole attack, full access to an organization, was kicked off through an email. So that's a bit about phishing. So what do I want you to do this week? There's no template. There's a GitHub repository. I want you to craft a phishing email. I don't want you to go out and send this to anybody and everybody. I want you to craft a phishing message to me, right? So what does crafting a phishing message look like? So you saw that example. There's a phishing.org, which kind of shows about phishing examples. But I want to see you build out a classic phishing email and do it using Python. Send it to me through SendGrid. Here's an example. Let me zoom in. PayPal, response required. Hey, we noticed your account. There's an issue. You really need to log in. Send me one from my bank. Hey, we're noticing some fraud in your account. I'm not going to enter any credentials, and be careful. I am not saying you should copy a company's logo. I'm not saying you should lie and say you're a specific company. That's, it's done during tests, but I wouldn't put you in that position. Craft a fake company. Come up with a fake company name. Send me a phishing email from a fake company. I just want to see it in my inbox. I want to see kind of your thought around it, how you would design it. Here's an example. Notice, kind of except for this whole Microsoft team in the email, do they even say they're Microsoft? Oh, they do say they're Microsoft. But you notice here it says Windows user alert. That's really general, right? Hey, we saw some weird, unusual sign-in activity. You have to do some. You have some sort of action you have to take. And then down here, here's some more emails. Here's one from secure your Wells Fargo online key. Now this is pretty obvious because the link in here is not to Wells Fargo's webpage. But, it's... I want you to try and come up with something convincing. So your Python code for the week, and I'll put this link up on the website. Your Python code for the week is super short. I want you to write a script that sends an email through SendGrid. It's going to have a user interface, and I'm not going to design it for you this week. I want you to design it. It's part of your final project. It's getting used to what you're going to do for your final project. So I'm going to lay out. You're going to have an application. It's going to prompt you in the command prompt. Who do you want to send it from? Who do you want to send it to? What's the subject and what's the content? See, it's going to prompt those 4 items right here. So instead of setting just these, you're going to ask the user for input and then build it out. And then what I want you to do is in my inbox, I want to see some phishing emails. I want you to bombard me with, fake emails asking for my password and my date of birth and every little piece of information that you grab. I'm not going to enter the information, but I think it's kind of a fun thing. Build your own phishing email. Be the bad person, right? And now you're not exploiting anyone. You're not causing harm. You're just sending me an email. But think about it as fun, because in a real cybersecurity testing scenario, you're building these things. So get used to constructing one. So that's a little bit about phishing. We talked about how to send an email. You're probably going to get a little frustrated with SendGrid this week because it's a little slow. So like I said, plan ahead. Make sure everything is working in working order, and that it's sending emails properly. What's funny is I'm still waiting on a couple emails. I'm checking right now. SendGrid is so slow today that I am waiting on a couple emails still. So good luck this week. I know that the lab video, I'm not walking you through a template this time. It's just going to be a README file this week in the lab. So you're going to build this all yourself. But hopefully this will be fun. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to being phished.